Welcome to FX Currency in Play. I'm joined by market commentator Matt Brown. Morning, Matt.
Morning, Nick.
Let's kick off with the headlines in the currency markets this morning. Gold regains traction, inching back closer to the 1340 level. And in terms of euro, US dollar spikes to session tops. Will it sustain ahead of the ECB? We've got a gold chart and we've got the euro dollar chart to look at. But again, both very much in focus at this point in time.
Oh, very much so. I mean, the market this morning will be looking at the ECB coming up. Obviously, don't expect anything from the rate announcement, but at 1:30 UK time, Draghi will be speaking, and it's all about the language. Is he going to reduce the QE bond buying programme?
Yep.
And it feels as if the market, or certainly the Euro bulls, are expecting that, and we've seen some big moves actually over the last half an hour in the euro pushing higher. These may be preemptive moves, but if he doesn't deliver, then we could see the euro come back down.
We've seen some market commentators calling euro up to 125 possibly.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, if we breach the 120 level, that feels like a psychological level. I mean, technicals about slightly below that, 119, 18, 80, etc. But if it does push above that, then it could carry on onwards and upwards.
Let's look at some of the charts. This is cable. A real two-way market here. A dull market. I think the best advice I've been given recently is keep out of this market unless you have to trade it, because it's not that easy.
Exactly. I mean, it's kind of caught in a range at the moment, and it's hard to call where it's going to go. We've got Brexit negotiations again starting up, and we've got weaker dollar. So there's a lot of moving parts in this currency pair. It's volatility and possibly an option play if you do trade options. Look at that, but it's not one that jumps out on the radar to actually trade at the moment, because there isn't a clear trend in cable at the second.
The Japanese would say there's times to buy, times to sell, and times to rest on your laurels.
Exactly.
And I know exactly what I would do there. Right, let's go to dollar yen. Now, this is much more interesting. We've seen a number of commentators this week highlight this 108, 108.10 area. In terms of technical analysis, these aren't precise levels. Really, really key support here.
Indeed, and again, this is another currency pair that's been stuck in a range, and maybe it's a do-nothing trade. But if we see it break out below certainly the 108 or anything lower, then there is a downward trend. And the overall theme is a weaker dollar. This may catch some by surprise. We could see some moves, but North Korea is overriding the market at the moment. That yen is a safe play, but technically this is one the technicians do look at. If we see a break, really below the 108.50 level, then that could be a continuation of a downward trend for the dollar yen.
Yep. Let's finish up with gold. Obviously a decent uptrend. It's been suggested, the Elliott wave analysis, that we could be potentially looking for a pullback to sort of circa 1300 before an upside target of 1380. That's what the Elliott wave analysis was suggested. Again, a very, very aggressive up move.
Yeah, very aggressive. You mentioned the Elliott wave. We could see a retrenchment at this stage. Look around the kind of 1300 level. That could be a buying opportunity, but the trend is there. Again, it boils down to kind of North Korea and also a weaker dollar as well. That's always in play. So looks a bit toppy here, but buy on pullbacks, I think, is the trade here.
Trend is your friend.
Indeed.
Let's wrap up with the economic calendar today. In terms of the EU, we've got the ECB deposit interest rate decision, initial jobless claims in the States, non-farm productivity, the ECB monetary policy statement at 1:30, and finally the EIA crude oil stock change at 4 o'clock in the US. Matt, final thoughts?
It's all about Draghi. Look at the presser, as I say, at 1:30 UK time, 2:30 European time. It's going to be the language. Is he going to try and talk down the euro? Will he succeed? I think potentially the moves have already happened in euro dollar, and we've seen them happen this morning with people positioning ahead of the statement. But all eyes to Draghi this afternoon.
Matt Brown, thank you very much indeed.